Hello students, welcome back to Career Power Hyderabad, powered by Adda 24/7. Students, today we'll discuss the important MCQs. But before going into the MCQ session, please subscribe our YouTube channel, share the channel with your friends, and do download the Career Power Hyderabad app. We'll provide the link in the description as well as comment section. So let us go into the first MCQ today. So the book titled An Ordinary Life, The Portrait of an Indian Generation has been authored by which of the following? So the book title An Ordinary Life, Portrait of an Indian Generation is authored by Ashok Lavasa. So Ashok Lavasa is the author of the book. So this book is an experience of his father's principles. So which will serve as a moral compass in his life as well as it will be useful for others also. So this book is about the ordinary life written by the Ashok Lavasa. So this book is published by HarperCollins India, and Ashok Lavasa is the former election commission who resigned in 2020 to become the vice president of the Asian Development Bank, which is present in Manila, Philippines. So these are details about Ashok Lavasa. So let us go into the next question. So Saihom Mirabai Channu, so who is the first medal winner for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics from India. Okay, so first Indian to win a medal in the ongoing Tokyo Olympics 2020. So Mirabai Channu, she won a silver medal and she represented the country in which of the following sport? Okay, she won silver, but which of the following sport? The answer is weightlifting. The answer is weightlifting. So Mirabai Channu has won silver medal by lifting a total of 202 kg and become the first Indian to open the medal tally. So to win the silver medal in the ongoing 2020 Tokyo Games in the women 49 kg category. So Ji Ho of China, she won the gold medal by lifting nearly 210 kg. And Indonesia's Windy Aisha has won the bronze medal. So these are the top three medalists. Okay. So Channa is also the second Indian weightlifter after Karnam Malleshwari to win a Olympic medal in the weightlifting category. She also created a new record in the clean and jerk category by lifting 115 kg. So these are all the details about Mirabai Channu. Okay. So do remember, very, very important. The next question, World Drowning Prevention Day is declared annually to be celebrated on which of the following day? World Drowning Prevention Day is to be celebrated on 25th July. So United Nations has designated the 25th July as the World Drowning Prevention Day. So this day is to dedicate the global advocacy for drowning prevention. So because drowning is creating a lot of impact on the families and communities. So that is why we need to provide life-saving solutions to prevent such disasters. So the theme for this year is anyone can drown, but no one should. So anyone can drown, there is a chance to drown, but no one should. So the data from UN says nearly 236,000 people are drowning every year. So it is one of the 10 leading causes of disasters for mainly the children and youth between age of 1 to 24 years. So UN data also says this 90% of the deaths occur in lakes, wells, rivers and domestic water storage containers in low and middle income groups countries where children and adolescents, especially in the rural areas, are highly affected. Okay, so please see World Drowning Prevention Day, 25th July. So next question, Kargil Vijay Divas is celebrated on July 26th. We know all this. So Kargil Vijay Divas is celebrated on July 26th. But this year is the victory of how many years of celebration? So how many years happened this Kargil Vijay Divas was celebrated? So how many years? So this year India is celebrating the how many years of victory in Kargil War? It is 22 years. So 22 years of victory in the Kargil War. So Kargil Vijay Divas is celebrated on 26 July. So this happened in 1999 where India was emerged victorious in the Kargil conflict. So India is celebrating the 22 years of victory this year. So what happened in 1999? So a high altitude mountain war broke up between India and Pakistan near the Kargil sector, mainly near the line of control. Okay. So this happened between May to July. So 60 days of war which ended on 26th July and India was victorious. So in 1999, so Pakistan took advantage of the melting snow and betrayed the bilateral understanding of both nations and took command of high outposts of India. And they claimed that the Kashmiri rebels did this action. So, but the ammunition, identity cards, ration stores show that Pakistani army was behind this cowardly act. So, Operation Vijay was launched by the Indian Army. So, earlier, Operation Vijay was launched in 1961 to capture Goa, Anjadiva Islands, and Daman and Diu. So, this Anjadiva Island is near Karwar, okay, in Karnataka. So, the second Operation Vijay was launched in 1999. So, both operations were very successful, and July 26 is celebrated as the Kargil Vijay Divas on the successful completion of Operation Vijay, in which 527 Indian soldiers were martyred and 1300 were injured in this battle. Okay, so parallelly in 1999, Operation White Sea was also launched by Indian Air Force and Army to control the Pakistani army. Okay, so do remember all these points related to this Kargil Vijay Divas, very, very important. The next question, which of the following site has been inscribed as India's 39th World Heritage List? So which site in India is now entered into the World Heritage List? The answer is Kakatiya Rudreshwara Temple, also called as the famous Ramappa Temple. So the Kakatiya Rudreshwara Temple or the famous Ramappa Temple is present in Palampet, Mulugu district near Warangal in the state of Telangana. So it was inscribed into the World Heritage List at the 44th session meeting of the World Heritage Committee. So with this induction, now India has 39 World Heritage sites. So this Kakatiya Rudreshwara Temple was constructed in 1200s by the Kakatiya Empire. So this 13th century temple is an iconic temple, so named after its architect Ramappa. So it is the only nomination done by India for the year 2019. Okay, so do remember all these points. Also remember UNESCO headquarters Paris, established 1945, and UNESCO abbreviation United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, Telangana Governor Tamilisai Sundararajan. So do remember all these static points, very, very important. The next question, which of the following country has signed the International Solar Alliance? The International Solar Alliance is the initiative of India. So which country signed this International Solar Alliance? So very, very important question. The answer is Sweden. So Sweden ratifies the framework agreement for International Solar Alliance. So in April 2018, PM Modi visited Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. So both sides agreed to deepen the partnership for sustainable future. So recently there was a virtual meeting between PM Modi and Swedish Prime Minister Stefan Löfven. So please remember, he is the new Prime Minister of Sweden, Stefan Löfven. So both agreed for cooperation in the fields of innovation, technology and climate change. So as a part of this, Sweden ratified the International Solar Alliance Agreement. The capital of Sweden, Stockholm, and Sweden currency is Swedish krona. So do remember all these points. Let us see few details about the International Solar Alliance. So it is an Indian initiative launched by PM Modi as well as President of France Emmanuel Macron in 2015 in Paris. So 121 solar-rich countries which are lying in the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn are the prospective members. The main objective is to address the common challenges in scaling up the solar energy. So the headquarters is present in Gurugram and the present Director General is Ajay Mathur. So do remember. Okay, Gurugram or Gurugram. Old name is Gurugram, new name is Gurugram and the old name is Gurugram. Okay. The next question. Who among the following has been appointed as the Managing Director of HCL Technologies Limited? So who is the new MD? The earlier MD is Sivan Adar. So Sivan Adar, he resigned to the post. So now who is the new MD? The answer is Vijay Kumar. So Vijay Kumar is the new MD. So HCL founder Sivan Adar, he stepped down as the Managing Director and now he is the Chairman Emeritus and the Strategic Advisor to the company board. So now in his place, C. Vijay Kumar, who is currently the President and CEO, will be the Managing Director along with the post of CEO for 5 years. So Sivan Adar, last year he resigned to the post of Chairman and now Roshni Nadar Malhotra, daughter of Sivan Adar, is the Chairman of the company HCL and she is the first woman to chair a listed Indian IT firm. So please remember all these details and see the background story of HCL. So HCL was established in 1976 as a technology hardware company which manufactured the India's first computers, indigenous computers. So it is first made in India IT product innovations. The first 8-bit microprocessor based computer in 1978. finest, fine-grained, world's first multiprocessor Unix installation in 1989. So HCL also boosted the mobile distribution network with Nokia, with the collaboration of Nokia. So Sivan Adar also established the Sivan Adar Foundation in 1994 to create institutions of transformational education. So he developed a lot of education in the country. So HCL established 1976, HCL headquarters, Noida. So do remember all these points. The next question. So Yang Chin. So Yang Chin won the first gold medal of Tokyo Olympics in the women 10-meter air rifle event. She is from which country? So Yang Chin won the first medal in the Tokyo Olympics. So she belongs to which country? She belongs to China. So Ang Chang of China, she took the gold medal in the women 10-meter air rifle final and in the 2020 Olympic Games. So she created this record of 251 points. So from Russia, Anastasia Galisina has won the silver, and from Switzerland, Nina Christine has won bronze. So do remember the top three people. So Yang Chang from China has won gold. So Anastasia Galisina of Russia has won silver, and Nina Christine of Switzerland has won bronze. So this air rifle is one of the three shooting events at Olympics. The other two events are pistol and shotgun. So rifle and pistol, where competitors will shoot stationary objects. In shotgun, competitors will shoot the moving objects. So do remember all these points, very, very important. So 2019, India ranked in which of the following position with a share of 3.1% in the global agricultural exports. So what is the rank of India in the global agricultural exports in 2019? The answer is 9th rank. The answer is 9th rank. So World Trade Organization, they released the top 10 agricultural produce exporters in 2019, of which India is in 9th position with a share of 3.1%. European Union is in first position with a share of 16.1%. And in the meat and edible meat offal category, offal means internal organs. So in the meat and edible meat offal category, India is ranked 8th with 4% share of global trade. So WTO, let us see details about the World Trade Organization, which regulates and facilitates international trade with nations. So governments use this organization to establish, to revise, to enforce the rules that govern the international trade. So it officially commenced operations in 1995, replacing the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, which was established in 1948. So this General Agreement on Trade and Tariff was established in 1948. So it was replaced by WTO in 1995. Okay. So currently it has 164 members representing 96% of the global trade and global GDP, and headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. So do remember all these points, very, very important. Okay. So senior IPS officer Nazir Kamal has been appointed as which of the following? So he was appointed as the Director General of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. So he is the Director General of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. So 1986 batch IPS officer of the Uttar Pradesh cadre. So he was appointed as the Director General of the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security till July 31st, 2022. Earlier, he was the Director of the National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science. So this Bureau of Civil Aviation Security is an attached office of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, mainly the regulatory authority of the civil aviation security. So you know there are a lot of flight hijacks. So in order to secure this flights and to secure the airports, this particular Bureau of Civil Aviation Security was established, which is headed by the Director General of Police rank officer, and he is designated as the Director General of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. Okay. So main responsibility is development, implementation and maintenance of the National Civil Aviation Security Program, which is launched in 1978 and headquarters is in Delhi. So do remember all these points. So next question, which of the following has recently signed a MOU with CDAC to train manpower in advanced technologies? So which group has signed a MOU with CDAC to train their manpower in advanced technologies? The answer is CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force. The Central Reserve Police Force has signed an MOU with the Center for Development of Advanced Computing to train their manpower in advanced technologies. So they will be trained in Internet of Things, cyber security, artificial intelligence. So CDAC will be the technology partner and knowledge partner in developing various ICT, information and communication technology solutions to CRPF. So the CRPF personnel will be given advanced courses both in field and practical applications. The CRPF headquarters New Delhi, established in 1935, and their motto is service and loyalty. So let us see some points about the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, which is a premier R&D organization of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So mainly to carry out R&D in IT, electronics and associated areas. So it is set up in 1988 to build supercomputers, because US denied the import of supercomputers to India. So that is why we established the CDAC, and CDAC is since then is undertaking the building of multiple generations of supercomputers, starting from Param. Param is the first supercomputer developed in 1988, which is headquartered in Pune. So do remember all these points. The next question, which of the following country has reported cases of norovirus infection? So which country has reported cases of norovirus infection? The answer is United Kingdom. So United Kingdom has reported more number of cases of the norovirus infection. So Public Health England has issued a warning. The 154 cases were reported. So this norovirus mostly is seen in the educational setups. Okay. So norovirus is contagious disease, mainly which causes diarrhea and vomiting. So mainly people who are affected from this norovirus, they shed billions of virus particles, but only a few are required to infect other person. So United Kingdom capital London, United Kingdom currency pound sterling. So please remember all these points. So let us see about norovirus. So how the virus is contracted? So direct contact with the infected person, by consuming contaminated food and water, by touching contaminated surfaces, you will be infected with the norovirus. What are the symptoms? Vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, nausea, inflammation of intestines or stomach, which will create acute gastroenteritis. So other symptoms are headache, fever and body aches. So people will develop symptoms within 12 to 48 hours of infection and can last from 1 to 3 days. Okay. So how can we stop this norovirus? By hand hygiene, by washing the hands regularly. And norovirus can stay in human vomit or fecus for 2 weeks or more. So that is why you need to maintain hygiene conditions in your areas. You can use alcohol based hand sanitizers. So what is the treatment? There is no specific treatment for this particular disease. Only you need to drink plenty of liquids, because due to dehydration and vomiting, you will lose a lot of water content in the body. So drinking plenty of liquids is the only solution. Okay. So these are the details about norovirus. So let us see the next question. Who has been appointed as the vice chairman of Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and Industries? So the person is an Indian origin. So that is why we need to remember the vice chairman of Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and Industries. The answer is M.A. Yusuf Ali. M.A. Yusuf Ali. So Lulu Group chairman Yusuf Ali has been appointed as the vice chairman of the Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and Industries. So it is announced by the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and the Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. So he issued a resolution setting up the formation of Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So recently, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed has awarded Yusuf Ali with Abu Dhabi Award 2021, which is the highest civilian award for his contribution in the economic development and philanthropy. So Yusuf Ali is the chairman and managing director of the Lulu Group, which operates hypermarkets and retail companies in many countries. They have hypermarkets, supermarkets, they have shopping malls, multiplexes in many countries. So the Abu Dhabi Chamber for Commerce and Industry is an apex government body for all businesses. So it acts as a bridge between government and business sector. So each of the business establishment in Abu Dhabi must be licensed by the Abu Dhabi Chamber for Commerce and Industries. And Yusuf Ali is the only Indian in this 29-member board. Okay. And this board is chaired by Abdul Muhammad Al Mazruhi. So please remember. And UAE currency, United Arab Emirates dirham, and capital is Abu Dhabi. Okay. Excuse me. So currency is United Arab Emirates dirham and capital is Abu Dhabi. So do remember all these points. The next question, name the bank which got a loan of Name the bank which got a loan of 250 million from International Finance Corporation, which is an investment arm of the World Bank Group. So name the bank which got a loan of 250 million from the International Finance Corporation, which is an investment arm of the World Bank Group. The answer is HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank has got a loan of 250 million mainly for green housing. So green housing has a lot of climate benefits. So that is why we are promoting green housing. So 25% of the fund is used for green affordable housing. So HDFC will support, with this money, HDFC will support the affordable housing and green housing portfolio in their bank. So this is aligned with the government of India's initiative Housing for All and will create a lot of jobs in the country. So green affordable housing is a path to deliver the commitments under the Paris Agreement to reduce third of its carbon emissions by 2030 by India. India need to reduce the carbon emissions by 2030. So this green housing, the green and efficient housing can help cut emissions because the residential housing accounts for 24% of the electricity consumption. So if you have green housing, solar enabled electricity generation, then you can reduce the dependence on fossil fuels. Okay. So remember this point is very, very important. HDFC Bank headquarters Mumbai, HDFC established 1994, International Finance Corporation established 1956, International Finance Corporation headquarters Washington DC. So do remember this point is very, very important. The last question for today, Bangladesh legendary folk singer and freedom fighter have passed away recently. So which of the following? So Bangladesh legendary folk singer and freedom fighter passed away recently. Which of the following? The answer is Fakir Alamgir. So Fakir Alamgir is the Bangladesh legendary folk singer and freedom fighter who passed away recently. He is a singer, musician, songwriter. So mainly famous for his Gano Sangeet, the song of masses. So he is the leading voice of the weaker sections in the society. So his music played an important role in the revival of patriotism and development of liberalization war consciousness among the youth during the 1971, the Bangladesh Liberation War. So he studied mass communication and journalism in Dhaka University. He is the member of cultural groups like Kranti Shilpa Gosti and Gono Shilpi Gosti during the 1969 against the Pakistani government. He worked with Swadhin Bangla Betar Kendra, the radio station, which played an important role in the liberation war. So he was awarded the top literacy award of Bangladesh, Ikushi Padak, in 1999 for his contribution to music. So these are the details about Fakir Alamgir. So do remember. So these are all the MCQs for today. So we'll meet in an important session again. So please subscribe to this YouTube channel, share the channel with your friends, like our videos and join the Telegram channel for the PDF, and do download the Career Power Hyderabad app. We provide coaching for Bank SSC RRB as well as for SI Constable, and our offline classes are running successfully. So come and visit our branch or call our numbers. So we are free to clarify any of your doubts. So thank you students. We'll meet in the next session.